The sky erupts in flames. Smoke fills the air. The deafening roar of explosions shake the harbor. Chaos, destruction, fear. It's December 7 of 1941. Thousands of American sailors and soldiers scramble for cover as Japanese warplanes descend upon Pearl Harbor. In a matter of hours, 20 U.S. naval vessels lie in ruins. Over 300 aircraft are reduced to burning wreckage. More than 2,400 Americans lose their lives, civilians included. The world holds its breath. Has war arrived at America's doorstep? The very next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivers his iconic speech, and with just a few words, history changes forever. The United States declares war on Japan. But let's stop and ask ourselves the real question here. Could the US have avoided this attack? I've explored this question, digging through history, analyzing events, and crafting an essay on the subject. I've even dove into real speeches made directly from the event, including the letter declaring war on Japan. I analyzed video recordings and pictures of the attack, capturing the sheer devastation. But what struck me the most were interviewers from survivors who lived through the chaos, describing the horrors unfolding before their eyes. Smoke, debris, booms and crashes here and there, the terror and the panic. By looking at their different perspectives, I was able to identify a deeper understanding towards my topic. My references will be listed in the captions. But before we dive into the answer, let's break down why Japan attacked in the first place. 1. Escalating tensions. The US and Japan were locked in an intense rivalry over power in the Pacific. Economic competition, territorial disputes, and growing mistrust fueled the fire. 2. Japan's goals. Japan saw the US Pacific Fleet as a massive roadblock in its mission to dominate Asia. Eliminating this fleet meant clearing a path to expansion. 3. US economic sanctions. In response to Japan's aggression in Asia, the US imposed strict trade sanctions, cutting off Japan's access to vital resources like oil and steel. This led Japan with two choices: back down or strike first. With tensions at an all-time high, the attack on Pearl Harbor seemed unavoidable. But was it really? How could this have been prevented? History shows us that wars don't always have to happen. There are powerful tools that nations use today to avoid conflicts like Pearl Harbor. 1. Diplomatic negotiations and treaties. Instead of war, nations can come to agreements that settle disputes peacefully. Think of the Treaty of Paris, which ended the Spanish-American War, where Spain gave up control of territories like the Philippines, Guam, and Puerto Rico to the US. 2. International alliances. The United Nations, or UN, NATO, and the European Union exist to encourage cooperation and prevent conflicts before they begin. If similar alliances had existed between the US and Japan, could things have been different? 3. Peace talks and mediation. When tensions rise, countries can use mediators to find peaceful solutions. The Mindanao Peace Process, a peace agreement between the Philippine government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, to end decades of conflict in Mindanao, proving that communication can save lives. The key takeaway? Communication is the greatest weapon against war. Had the US and Japan found a way to open stronger diplomatic relations, history might have taken a different course. But Pearl Harbor teaches us something just as important. Never be caught unprepared, because in war and in life, you'll never know when your enemies will strike.